Hey, family, and thank you for tuning in to the Good Sis Podcast. We are so excited about today's guest, and we know you will enjoy him too. We are sitting down with Mr. Norian Love. Norian is a true jack of all trades. He's a best selling author, songwriter, screenwriter, and poet. To put it simply, he's a hard working man making waves in these literary streets. Norian is a distinguished recipient of the 2021 Association of Black Romance Writers Book of the Year Award. He was also a finalist for the 2021 Black Authors Rock Author of the Year Award. And among his many accolades, Norian also serves as the head screenwriter for the University of Houston's HIV awareness campaign. His diverse talents as musician, author, and his commitment to his craft is truly inspiring, and we are incredibly honored to have him on the Good Sis podcast today and talk with him about his amazing bodies of work. Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this interview. Welcome to the Good Sis Podcast, where we celebrate all things Black literature. I'm Chop, and I'm here with my good sis.
Manna, hey everybody.
Hey, girl, I hadn't seen you in a while. You're looking
I
good.
have seen you.
You look like you're
And,
smelling good.
and you as well. You always look beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyway, today, y'all, we have a treat. We are here talking to the talented Renaissance
Mhm.
man, musician, and author, Mr. Norian Love. Norian, welcome to the Good Sis Podcast.
I'm glad to have. I'm glad to be
How
here.
are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, ladies. How you guys doing?
We're wonderful. We're wonderful.
Staying
So
up
for
late for
today,
you.
yes, on a
Staying up
Sunday.
late.
Shout out to my husband. He got the baby on a Sunday, but hey, we love it, and we're so happy to have you here. So we want to talk about a little bit about autumn, a little bit about blue, a little bit about winter, and just get your thoughts on this amazing work and see what else you got for us.
Okay.
So let's jump right into it. So when
Mhm.
the book Autumn opens up, we
Mhm.
have two men, two friends. They're on their way home. One of the men is clearly immature, like he really a stone. I think his first name is Kenley. He really made me want to smack his ass. And he's talking to his friend Tatum Reverend. Reverend, who the hell middle name is but that's okay. He's talking to his friend Tatum Reverend Clark, and they're having an interesting conversation that struck a nerve with me as a woman. They begin to talk about something in the book. I called it POD, but in the book, it means P on demand, and y'all fill in the P and the ussy. And don't laugh because you wrote it. You you wrote it now.
I didn't know we were gonna be here already, but let's do it.
So my
Yeah.
problem with that is Tatum's wife, and we'll get to this heifer, but Tatum's wife just had a baby.
Mhm.
So we want to know how you feel. Do you agree with Stone? Do you agree with Stone that this should be on
What?
demand when you get married? This woman just had a baby. It
I
is
think
can his wife say hell no?
I
Not tonight.
think that I think I think what it was that's a common conversation. Whether it was right or wrong between boys, that's probably a common conversation. It's like, hey, look, what's going because to your point, especially at that age, he doesn't understand that. He's learning that part of it too. So there's a lot of misinformation that especially young men have about the female reproductive cycle, bodies, and things of that nature, and healing and time. And so you can tell, Tatum, that was a moment where he's getting a lesson in maturity that his friend haven't had any kind of issue with because he hadn't been there yet, right? So they're having
That's
that
right.
conversation. So that's what it was. And most of the book is a coming of age story, even though they're a little bit older. But that's well, not really older. I guess they're around that age. But it's a little bit older than coming of age. You know what I mean? Like they're in their
I
20s.
understand.
So it's still a second coming of age, if you will. So I think that's kind of what it is. You know, he's like,
Because I think sometimes that men have these conversations that they know to have by themselves. They know they can't. Would never talk about that and say nothing crazy like that in the presence of their woman or a woman they care about. Because yeah. So I had to ask you about that conversation in the car.
You
But I
struck a
do
It's
want to
fly
touch
on the
on
nerve.
wall
something.
in the car with two guys. That's all it is. Just fly on the wall in the car with two guys talking.
I do want to talk about something that T and I noticed. The dynamic between Tatum, his dad, and his son.
Mhm.
So, and please, by the time, anytime we have somebody on here, by the time we talk about a book, we hope we're comfortable enough for spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Because okay,
Thank you.
but yeah, him and his dad didn't have the best relationship because his dad was dealing with some things of his own. So then, by the time he's a grown man and have a son, his dad, I believe his name was Solomon, is a way better grandfather than he. No, Solomon's the baby. Johnny is the
Yeah,
granddad. That's right.
yeah.
He's a way better grandfather than he was father.
Mhm.
Can you speak to the significance of that and how maybe sometimes that's how it is, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, sometimes I think it's the same kind of thing, right? So, Tatum, probably his most important lever was his dad not being there, so he was determined to not be that. But then Johnny was going, like you said, he was going through, drugs and all his issues, or whatever case may be, and so he had turned a leaf
Yeah.
for Solomon and Tatum. So it was like they said he was really a better grandfather. He had bigger issues, obviously, but like he was turning it around. And I think that like it's a good case of better late than never for Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's important. I think like for most young men, like they idolize their father. So no matter what age they get them at, if they can get a piece of that, that's important. That fills in huge chunks. I kind of want to touch on that too.
I
So
think that I think that at Tatum he got it, but he got it a little late because at first you could see the chip on his shoulder as it pertained to
mhm,
his dad, and that's the
mhm.
beauty of Solomon. Solomon never experienced that, so when he's talking to Grandpa, he's talking to his hero, and
Yeah,
Tatum is in the background like you don't know his ass.
yeah, yeah,
And
But
his
it's
mama too. His mama too,
yes,
though. His mama
yeah,
was like, ugh, she was
yeah,
disgusted,
yeah.
and she did not want her
exactly
grandbaby having a
Hmm.
relationship with the man that she knew him to
that
be.
she knew. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. All the above, man, and that's real. No, because sometimes like you meet somebody because you got to think about their relationship was their relationship. So however bad it went, she was kind of offended low key that Tatum had a relationship with the guy. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, but that ain't their relationship. That's their that you know what I'm saying? That's not her and Johnny's relationship. That's Tatum and his relationship. And like you said, Solomon new to the party all the way around. By the time he met him, he was reformed, for the most part. So
Yeah.
he ain't got no ill will towards him. So yeah, no, that and that happens in families every day. You know,
Shoot, yeah,
like
it sure does.
How do you compartmentalize that though? Like as a dad or as a mom, if you're a dad and you see that this woman has been piss poor to you
mhm,
and piss poor as a child, because even that dynamic happens in the book with Monique, and we'll get to her, but it's hard to compartmentalize in the midst of pain, like in the midst of still Tatum still being hurt over his past. It's hard for him to separate and make peace with who his dad is to him versus who his dad is to his son.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that's beautiful how you lay those relationships in front of us because it's hard for us to pinpoint a villain, right? And that's a very good skill to have as a writer. Um, to not just have a clear view, to have to consider all things.
mhm,
But that's what
yeah,
makes it real because you want to
Mm-hmm.
villainize his mama.
You do?
She wrong for that, but at the same time, she had an experience with Johnny as a woman scorned. She was
Yep.
scorned by him. He did her wrong. He was a crackhead. He did her wrong. It just
yeah,
makes it real. It makes it realistic,
yeah,
and you're able to either say, "Hey, I've been through that," or "I know some people
Or I
that done
know
been through
something.
that." And I like reading material like that. Sometimes you get this stuff and it's just not realistic. But then other times you read material and you're like, hey, I can resonate with that. I can relate
Yeah,
with
oh
that.
yeah.
I
I
think
do
what's
want
good about like
to.
any writing, I mean, or at least what I try to do, is I want you to look at your moral compass because there's a lot of gray out here. I mean, everything's black and white, you know, in until you're going through it. Then it's very gray. You mean
It's very
I
great.
think that like it's important to kind of like humanize some of these things that because like you're right from a person's perspective, you know, well that's wrong and I would never do that and this and this and this until you're in it.
Hmm.
Then you're like, oh wait a minute, okay, that's I can see how that happened and I see why that choice was made. And you know, we got a lot of healing to do collectively. You know, I think that like real conversations about things that are happening. To me, at least, I try to even in the sensational stuff that I write, I still
Right.
want you to know. Well, okay, I see how this person came to this conclusion. Whether I would have done it or not, this is who they are, and this is why they would do this. So yeah, yeah.
When we
So
talk about Miss Monique, Monique ain't shit. I'll be the first one to say it. I tried to have some sympathy for Monique because when she left, it was revealed later that she may have had some postpartum. And okay, right, as a woman, as someone who works in public health, like I get that could be real,
mhm.
but at some point it can't be postpartum when you come back and you trying to it's no longer about a mother baby relationship. You come back and try to make his life a living hell because you see that he has moved on romantically. Meanwhile, uh we don't know if you dead or alive, up, down, or sideways, right? So I want to see, do you think do you what do you think about her trying to ruin his life, like actively trying to ruin his life, not just his relationship, everything he's worked for, everything he's went to college for, him turning his life around and completely making it hard for him to even be a father, to even be the way that unfolds after Autumn comes into his life. It's hard for me to not see to see the gray of Monique. It's hard for me
Yeah.
to see the gray of her.
Some
So can
people,
you?
and then there are those people. Some people are just they just are who they are. Some people just it's black, it's white. It's those people,
Yeah,
and you wanna have redemption for them, but they keep making sure that you don't get it. You know what I mean? They keep making bad. Like I think sometimes you know a villain may not necessarily even be a bad person, but they're just a person when faced with a choice, they're gonna choose the wrong one each time. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, and I think that like, you know, you meet people like that. They're not bad people, but whenever it comes to a life decision of theirs, they not gonna choose the right thing. You know, and you wonder why. You mean and they just wired that way. I think that's Monique in a nutshell. You know, I think she just um I think that, you know, selfish, I think she wants I think she wanted the do over, and she wanted it her way, you know, and she couldn't accept that this man had moved on. She couldn't even process what she did was wrong on the scale in which it was wrong. You mean now Tatum had a different purview of it because not only had he been abandoned, now he has to be what his mother was in a way that he wasn't adjusted to. So it's a weird. So like I think it took a lot of sanity for him to just try to do the job, you know. And he was holding his bandwidth was right there because really those 4 years before he met Autumn or whatever the case may be, it was just work, school, and Solomon, work, school, and Solomon, work, school, and Solomon. And so it was just like I don't think he had time to even process that because life was happening, you know. And so and you have those people too.
because you're like, why didn't you divorce her? You didn't had 4 years to go to the courthouse and sign your papers on this nut.
I don't think he
Because
wanted to.
I
And,
don't
and
think
and maybe he didn't. Maybe it was like he was trying to hold on because he didn't want what happened to him to happen to Solomon. Like he held out hope that Solomon would have a two-parent home. But 4 years, She
And then
gone.
it's something too that, like, I mean, you know how things. I mean, like, okay, I give you an example, right? Like, I know I need to get my driver's license renewed by April. And I told myself that in January. And it's March. You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes things get past you. You think I'm gonna get to it, I'm gonna get to it. Time is going. You gotta be able to stop in your tracks. And I think, like, with him, with a newborn, going to school, trying to work, I don't think it was just at the top of his priority list. I think it was just getting through each day. He was literally getting his sea legs when all this happened. It was like, I'm about to finish school. I think I got a job, and it was just like he was getting to a cruising altitude. So I don't think he was thinking, let me go in, especially year one, right? So after year one, then you're in the routine. You like,
But
so yeah,
there was no sense of urgency because she wasn't
yeah, there's
around.
no sense,
Out of
yeah,
sight,
at
out
all.
of mind. Now, if she was there wreaking havoc, it may have boosted him to move a little faster. But because she was out of
Mm.
sight, maybe he just kept it out of mind.
Yeah.
But in regards to Monique, I think I think she thought she was that girl because for all intents and purposes, he did make her that girl. She was his world. And so I think she thought that she had the ability to walk away and she was that girl. So she had the juice to come back whenever she wanted to come back
And,
and he
and
would just fall at her feet like he normally does. She
and
never
also
anticipated on
too,
him being with somebody else.
she also knew that Solomon would be a touch point to get him.
Hmm.
Use
Yeah,
that baby to get him. Ooh,
definitely.
girl, I
I
couldn't
love
see it for that heifer. Oh,
I got a soft spot for Monique though. She was
I
going
ain't
through.
got nan. I ain't got nan. Because Autumn is so amazing, and I do want to mention this about her, that she was unlike. I don't think I've ever read a character like Autumn. Like, she's a little crazy. That heart is good, but yeah,
yeah.
she is a little crazy. She's
Mhm.
When we
That's
but I
first
love
meet
yeah.
Autumn, she irked my nerves. I did not like Autumn.
her.
I did not like her at all. She irked my
I mean,
nerves.
Tam didn't like it, right? He was like, "What is this woman doing?" He was like, "I ain't got time for this."
That's true. But she grows on you though, like she grows on him, and then you get to see her through her art, through her passion, and we fall in love with her right along with him. I do want to ask about though him at Tatum and Autumn after Monique comes back into the picture. It's almost like Tatum is put in this impossible situation because how do you choose between the love of your life, your soulmate, and your child? And it's not the fault of your love, and it's not the fault of your child. It is ultimately outside forces coming in between your relationship that you prayed for, that you never thought you would ever have again, on her end and your end. How in the heck, like, you put this man between a rock and a hard place. I really thought Monique was gonna get killed. I thought he'd go kill her ass and return back to the streets because after everything she'd been through,
Mhm.
after everything, even if he had no woman, her coming back would have been traumatic. After
Mhm.
everything he'd been through, he deserved he deserved happiness. And for this
Mhm.
heifer, oh man, oh man. If anybody out there has not read this book, please read it if you enjoy being pissed off. And if
I love it.
you if you enjoy being pissed off and you love falling in love and you love a whirlwind romance, Autumn is that book. Oh, I loved it. Yeah. Thank
I mean,
thank
it's
you for
not.
this
Thank
word.
you. Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. I mean, I think that like you said, it's an impossible situation, and I think that you know, everybody answers that question differently. And again, it's a thing that plays out sometimes. You know what I mean? It's a thing that plays out sometimes where some people say, you know what, I don't care what's going on, I ain't going back over there. You know, but in his particular situation, um, you know, Solomon was only, I mean, he was the only parent that Solomon ever knew. So it was, it was impossible. It was just an impossible situation. And I think that, you know, 10 times out of 10, he did what he wanted to do, which was he had to choose the son. There was no way for him to do anything else other than that, right? And it didn't mean that he didn't love Autumn. It was just that, like, you know, I think he said something in the book, like, if I bring you into this world, I'll bring you through this world. Something to that he was talking
Mm.
about, and so, he was just a man of his word that way when it came to that kid, and so, and truth be told, like, like I said, that guy went through the ringer. Like, when
Yeah,
you think about everything, he went through the ringer, man. Like,
yeah.
how he came on the other side, standing on in any capacity, is probably a whole other story to tell. But
I think I love this book because in the romance world, especially in the black romance world, we do tend to put our female heroines through hell,
mhm,
right? It's usually our women that have to worry about the old baby mamas coming back or the whole that, my
yeah,
God, we put this young man, we wore his ass out before he could find love. And I just, oh man, it tugged at the heartstrings.
yeah,
It
yeah,
tugged at the
yeah.
heartstrings.
He walked it.
Yeah.
He walked through it. He really did. And and came out on the other side somehow. I mean, like that last scene with him on Nick. Um,
Oh
like, I'm
man.
telling you, I wrote the book and I thought she was dead. I was like, oh, I was trying. I was saying, okay, I don't know what he gonna do, but it ain't looking good, bro. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, T.
No, I said y'all gonna get off Monique. She done been through
Oh,
some things. Y'all don't know what she been through. Get off
But I
of
do. I am. We're gonna get off of it because I don't want to miss talking about the music.
ah.
So see, you listen to the music, right?
Hey, Mr. Love, Mr. Love. The soundtracks. We had the winter soundtrack and the autumn soundtrack. Baby, if y'all have not listened to the soundtracks for winter and autumn, I suggest you do it. Mr. Love,
yes,
baby,
ma'am. Yeah,
you are a 90s baby through and through. You can't even hide it.
I
You
can't.
can't even hide it because
I
it is
can't.
all in the music. You
Yeah.
know, we listen to both projects. I have listened to the projects multiple times. And I know that you wrote every song.
hmm
So
hmm
you are a man of many, many, many talents. Like you up here with songwriting. And also, we be peeping you out on social media. You be rapping too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do a little something. I cook every now and then. Every now and then, I do a little something, something. Just.
So you singing on tracks.
I don't sing. I
You're
don't
not
sing. That's
singing?
fine. I do no singing. I can't
That's
sing to
not
save my
you?
life. No, no. I get
He got
people.
vocals.
I write the songs. I make the sounds, and I get singers like on Autumn. There's and the people on Autumn. There's a guy named Artistry. That's his stage name, and he did all of those songs with the exception of the two that was done by the young lady, Desi. But then on the next one, um, I had um, I had I had one guy and two girls
Yeah,
singing.
that next one is butter. Oh, that went the blue.
Yeah,
The next one. Oh man, that one's butter. Oh man, that
yeah,
next.
I didn't know. I
Yes.
was figuring it out in the first one, and then the second one, I feel like I had the
Oh
groove, and I felt
yes.
like I was going somewhere.
You
Yeah.
found yourself with that second one. Like the first one's good. I'm not even gonna hold you with the first one, but you
Mm-hmm.
found yourself with that second one, and that's the one I have on repeat. I know some of them
Yeah.
songs by heart because I listen to them all the time. So just saying. Now, what made you want to do the recording? So, like, what made you want to do a soundtrack to your to
And
the?
just pushing creativity. At the time when I did Autumn, I did the box, and so I came with a CD, which I was just looking at the other day. I don't even know where it's at. Hold on, let me see if I got it covered somewhere. Um, oh, perfect. Yeah, came with a CD. I don't know, like, but what I was doing was like, if you notice, this is the CD right here for Autumn, right? But inside of it was the cover for Winter, the next book.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing this each time, and then, like, and these are the singers on the back of that one. I don't know if you can see. I don't know what it's doing here.
It's trying to
It's a
blur it
little
Um,
out.
blurry.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
oh,
see it.
yeah, yeah. So, but so for me, with these particular books, the music comes first, and so I had to flesh it out. And I was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And then then I have the book, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is what." So I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it was um because in the book, Tatum wants to be a songwriter. So in the world, in theory, Tatum wrote these songs. So Tatum wrote the songs with Drinks, which is artistry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's who you're hearing in the the world of Autumn, right? That's who
So
you're
in
hearing.
Letters of Fatima, that's everything that would have been in his notebook.
Yeah. That's everything that would have been his notebook. So
Okay.
that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all the poems and all the stuff that he was, and some of the song lyrics and stuff like that. It was just all in that journal. So that's what that would be. And so I tried to build out, like, if you see, like, it's on they have a social profile. You can really go through her profile and see all the dates and places that they went. Which was really cool, because a couple of people came to Houston, or a couple of book tours came to Houston, and they did the autumn tour. It was like, you got the restaurants, you got everywhere you want to go in Houston. That's fun. You just follow that page, you're gonna have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And so it was
Oh
just like
wow.
being able to do stuff like that. I wanted to be a fully immersive experience. I wanted to be like really just it, like, you can see her artwork. You can see their love for music. I think they talk about the alchemists. It's all this stuff that's going on her page, but it was just like, how do I build this world? So to answer your question, that's where the music kind of came from. It was like that started, and then I was like, okay, I think I got what I'm doing. So then the next time around, I was like, okay, I hear what I did wrong. How do I make it better? So I think that I feel like I accomplished that with Winter. I feel like there was a good, and then I got some singers who really we hit a good. Sometimes you just hit it, Sometimes you like, oh yeah, okay, we finna do this. This what we
Yes.
doing. So we did that. Oh,
Mana, you want to be on the track next time? Because I do.
Huh?
I want to be on the track.
hey, let me know. I was
Just
work. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that.
now, just a sidetrack just for a minute, because we brought up these poems. If you
Mhm.
have not been following Mr. Love on social media, you need to first and foremost get on there and start following him.
Yes.
And but for the month of February, you wrote 28 beautiful,
Beautiful. Mm.
beautiful bodies of work.
Thank you.
Just
Thank
beautiful.
you.
If y'all watch me and Mana on TikTok, you'll know that I've been in there just loving every one of them. And some of them I got little eyeballs, because it's like, you in the church world, we say you walking down my road. Just some beautiful, beautiful poetry. What is your inspiration behind this poetry? Like, where you getting this stuff from, man?
Man, um, this is my creative spell right here. I like this time of year. I just like being able to. I mean, I'll tell you. I guess I should go ahead and say it now. So I, as you know, I've been in the studio. I've been in the studio. So a lot of it has been like, I'm writing, and then I'm writing to make the next soundtrack, and so it's just been flowing. I'm up, and it's just coming, and so I'm just kind of going with it. So yeah, because I know then it'll shift at some point. Right now, I'm in the pocket, as the young folks say. So yeah, I'm just kind of enjoying it. You
I'm
know,
ready though. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that next one.
sure.
I do wanna
Don't
I do
start no
wanna
mess. Yes, I am.
I do wanna talk about Winter just a little bit, the book, the novel,
Mhm.
because that was messy as hell. Okay. You got a woman who husband dead. This woman begins to date his friend, but
Mhm.
she really in love with his brother. I had to, girl, I commented in one of the poem videos, like, sir, what the hell is this? Sir, how you gonna make me like this? Because Winter and Jay and Christina, I do want to say this though about Winter. I kind of blame her a little bit for the fallout between her and her best friend Christina. because you want this man, but you trying to hook him up with your best friend, and then you get mad when you think he really might actually want him. Why would someone to play these silly games? And you know you didn't want that other man. You know you didn't want what was his name? Was it? It wasn't
Darren,
Malik dead. Darren.
yeah,
You didn't
Darren.
want Darren. So Winter played too many games for me at first. She really, really did. And her mama clocked it early. Her mama was like, "Y'all need to go and be together and stop this." Because as a girl's girl, like as a woman's woman, she kind of did Christina wrong. I didn't really like that. I didn't because Christina was just taking what Christina hadn't had her BBL. She looking good. She thought she's gonna catch her one, and her best friend was trying to. She did. She had her BBL. She was feeling herself and her new booty, and she thought she was gonna catch her a baller. And by all intents, maybe she would have, but her friend was actually actively blocking her while pretending to hook her up. So I didn't like that.
That was the spirit
I,
of Monique. She
yeah,
thought she was that
it
girl.
plays through with that foul spirit a little bit.
I think
But
Winter was just she was another one. She wasn't really a train wreck, but she had a lot going on. She was drowning. She was drowning, I mean, in a different way, but I think like, you know, she was dealing with or not dealing with some grief, for lack of a better word. I think that playing that game with herself is what put her in that situation with Jay, not wanting to heal from the men who had left her and thinking, well, everything will be all right if you just stay in this friend zone. Even though I do like you, I don't want to, and you're right, it's selfish. It really is. I'm not gonna act like it ain't. But she did a lot of those. Even the way that she talked to Christina, like you could just tell their friendship was about to expire. It was just
yes,
they was just at that place. You know what I'm saying? Where they was just bumping heads and stuff. But there were a few times where she didn't have to do it the way she did it, and I think that like everyone kind of excused Winter for her behavior, and that's what kind of rubbed Christine the wrong way. Was like you ain't. Excuse me. I think there was a point in time where she said at the end of it, she was like, "I'm tired of you complaining about everything that's going right in your life." You mean? And it's like that entitlement. It's
yes.
kind of the embodiment of what Winter is. She don't see it, but it's there.
Because
So
I couldn't identify with the kind of woman that Winter was, right? Me and T have been together since 1992. Girl, I don't know how long. Well, we've been
Kindergarten,
together
baby. Kindergarten.
since kindergarten, right? Show them the cup. That's us as children. Yeah, that's me and her as little girls.
Hmm.
That's how long we've been friends, and I can't imagine being madly in love with a man and she not know it, right? Even if that's somebody I'm not supposed to, I would call her in a whisper, girl, I really like. I know my husband dead. I would call her in a whisper and tell my sister what I really feel. So the fact that she was playing this game with a woman who was supposed to be her friend, I just could not relate to it. But I will say this though. Uh, I will say that Jay, he's a good man because he did step right into that role, and for her baby girl for Miracle. I definitely love their friendship. Now what you think of that? That he really the daddy. He the uncle, but he really the little girl daddy after all. Um, I'm
That
okay with.
happens.
Don't
That happens. Does it
tell
not?
it though. Who they having to?
We'll talk about that later.
Because I get doing everything you can for your brother, right? I get it. I got brothers, and they gonna have each other back. I get that. But once your brother dead, you ain't got to keep the secret for him no more. It don't matter. You could have been told that woman that you was that baby real daddy.
but I think it
See,
was kind of like, okay, she's supposed to be my best friend, and that's my brother. My brother is not who I thought he was. He's a manipulator, right? So he's manipulating me into, and I'm young. I'm just, like people misestimate how how um naive 20-year-old kids are. They're kids. They, even though they're adults, they still do dumb things. So he doesn't have any context on what parenthood would be and all this good stuff. His brother's pressuring him. Like, I think he just caved to some pressure because he wanted a brother. You know, he didn't have that. So he had a certain, he was idolizing his big brother, not realizing that he was being used by his big brother. You know, and I think
Oh,
that, like, when he realized the full gravity of his mistake, I think what kept him silent was his guilt. You know, and so he was just like, I'm just gonna do everything I can to make up for this. But, you know, wow, I can't believe that this is what having a child is really like. You know what I mean? Like, I made a huge mistake. And I think his guilt really, and then Jay was always the, you know, he's a professional athlete, so he always got to say the right thing. You got to know where the camera is, got to know how to talk, got to know. So I think that kind of was in the back of his nuance too. You know, like, you know, it has to look a certain way. You know, not
yeah.
necessarily the image of him, but just like, I can't mess this up, kind of thing. We got to be the spotlights on us. What will Fox 26 think? Well, you know, whatever. You know, so that was kind of his mo, if you will.
Well,
That was rough.
are you
Pardon?
writing for the season? Because we
Absolutely.
okay, I said because we're getting ready to March the 20th is spring.
Yes.
Yeah. So pray for me.
Yes, and it's like it makes perfect sense because winter, that book does start out very wintry, very dark. There's a death, there's an illness. So in spring, we better be looking for some love to blossom and all
Yeah,
of the
that's a
things.
whole. That's, you get that summer's gonna be a little hot. It's all, yeah. That's the
Yeah,
whole.
I'm a
Yeah,
summer baby. Let's go.
summer
Let's
gonna be.
go.
Summer gonna be. Yeah, but yeah. So that's kind of the whole point. Trying to hit each season. So yeah, and with and align it with, you know, the feelings that go with that. So yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's amazing.
We
Yeah.
smell what
That's
you're cooking.
amazing.
Trying.
Absolutely. Well,
So, how can your readers reach you? Where can they follow you online?
Okay, so I am Norian Love on all social platforms, website, you name it. So I'm please follow me on TikTok. I'm trying to grow there, I guess one day. I need to start being more deliberate.
same.
Instagram, Facebook.
We say it all the time.
I know, right? I mean, another one. That's all. It's just like another one. Here we go. Here we go, guys. So I gotta do that. But yeah, no, yeah, that's how you can find me. You know, and then I'll be around y'all at some point in time. Y'all coming out this summer? Where y'all coming?
Yes. So we may be at the Indie Love, but we're definitely going to be at Alexandria House. We're going to be at the Black Romance Fest. We're going to be, what we going to be? We got about 3 or 4. We're going to be out here. So you, we're,
We're debating Indie Love. I think we're gonna
yeah,
end up doing Indie Love, but definitely the house
yeah,
party and definitely Black Romance Fest because this is the first
definitely.
one.
So we'll
Yeah, we
be in
can
these
do that.
literary streets as well. And
Yeah.
we're looking forward to it. So if all hearts are clear, we want to thank you so, so very much for being on the Good Sis Podcast. Please be sure to follow the Good Sis Podcast everywhere you get your literary news. Like, share, subscribe. And remember, if you love a good book, then you are a good sis. Thank you so, so much, Nori. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I enjoy your company, and thank you for having me tonight.